Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. As part of the signs in different houses series, today we will be talking about a sign which is very dear to me, and this is also the sign which was the ascendant of Lord Rama. I am talking about the sign Cancer or the Kark Rashi as it is called in the Vedic astrological text. So today we will be talking about if Cancer sign is placed or owns different houses in your horoscope by virtue of you being born in different ascendants, what can be manifesting for you, what possibilities you may face, what probabilities you may encounter. Of course, the variation also comes with where moon is placed in your horoscope. However, you will have to see this in a combination of which sign is placed in which house, which means which house does Cancer sign rule in your horoscope and where moon gets placed, and in conjunction with both of them or in lieu of both of the placements together, Cancer sign being in a certain house and where moon is placed, you will be able to see the overall results. However, at a potential, because of Cancer sign ruling a certain house, what can be the results coming for you, we will be talking about in this video. So let's start with Cancer sign occupying the Lagna, the ascendant or the first house. Now if Cancer sign occupies the first house, generally the person may be somebody who is very empathetic, very understanding and also a bit sensitive. However, this person is a thinking person. This is not a person who takes decisions on the fly, which means though the decisions may have a tinge of emotionality, may have a tinge of sensitivity, empathy or understanding, or even leaning towards somebody or leaning towards a certain factor or situation or towards a certain result, it will be a thinking brain. The brain will be thinking from the different perspectives. However, in the end, the emotionality, the sensitivity, the mushiness and the caring, the supporting nature of the Cancer sign takes over. This can be seen as the biggest strength of the person, but can also be one of the biggest challenges for the person, especially in today's times when you may be caring for people, where you may be more understanding of people, where you may be supportive of people. However, you may not be reciprocated in the same light every time. So one has to be more careful in today's time how much of emotionality you allow your decision making, how you look at life in general through the specs or through the lenses of emotionality or sensitivity or caring for others or supporting others, sometimes even at the cost of yourself, your reputation, your stature. Of course, you will be known by people as somebody who's very sensitive, who's emotional and who has a softer kind or softer side to him or her. However, this reputation may also lead people to take advantage of you. So one needs to be careful if you have the Cancer sign in the ascendant or if you're born in the ascendant of Cancer, that you, while you are a thinking person, you should also take care that you don't lean more towards the emotional side, more towards the sensitive side, more towards the caring side, but you should try to be more balanced. It is not that these people are not balanced, they are very logical, they are also very practical. However, they allow logic or practicality only to a certain extent, and finally they think that eventually we are all human beings, we all make mistakes, we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses. So that degree of flexibility should be given to a person, should be given to a certain situation, and because of that sometimes they lean towards the emotional side. If they have somebody who is in their life or in their company or in their dealings, even if the person is not the most forthright of person, they may justify why X or Y did something right or something wrong, and so they may give more flexibility under the understanding aspect of their personality, understanding aspect of their emotionality. So definitely Cancer sign in the Lagna, in the ascendant, can be a huge fillip to you, where you are seen as a person where you are respected, you are loved, you are cared for. There may be a lot of people who also value you as a friend, value you as a person with whom they are in a relationship, value you as a family member, also value you as part of society also. However, care has to be taken that you don't push the boundaries, you don't push the limits of your emotionality beyond a certain degree where you may be at the receiving end. This is definitely a placement where your thinking part makes a lot of decisions for you, and that comes to the fore and again and again. Of course, the sensitive part, the supportive part is always there, but this is a thinking individual, this is a intelligent individual. This person has the heart in the right place, not in the wrong place. However, it may be the wrong times. That has to be taken care of when you have Cancer sign in the first house. Cancer sign in the second house means that this person has a more leaning towards strong principles, strong values in his or her life, and they can be a little bit emotional also about their family, their community, their extended family also, even the extended community. And so they feel more nostalgic, they feel more attached to certain family oriented things. They may feel attached to their homeland where they were born, to their village, if you want to call it that. Wherever their roots are, wherever they were born, they will definitely have some tendency of attachment towards that place. They will surely every now and then become nostalgic also about that place. So that association, that affiliation, that connect makes these people very attached to their roots. They never forget who they are. They never forget what their beginnings were. And so because of that, they will always have a soft corner toward the community, toward the state, toward the city, towards the neighborhood that they were born in. And of course, these people lead their life with very strong principles and values, and these are very dear to them. They are very emotional about them also. If they feel that being honest is important, they will be very honest, even at the cost of sometimes affecting their livelihood, which the second house represents. However, a lot of their decisions connecting to livelihood are also emotional decisions. For example, if they have applied for 2 jobs or into companies, and if they feel both of them more or less have similar offerings, similar designation, similar role, but they feel more attached to one place. For example, they have people in one company who they know, who they like, then in spite of maybe getting slightly more in one company in terms of pay or wages, maybe a slightly better brand, they may still opt for the place which makes them feel more at home, which makes them feel more comfortable, which makes them feel more welcoming. On the other side, money is also important for them, but this is more for financial security. Rather than finding more value in terms of having big assets, these people care for financial security. And a lot of the financial security that they want is also attached to their own responsibilities, own family. And so a lot of their decisions connecting money or about livelihood or their earnings get connected to family. A lot of their earning also goes in supporting, caring for, or doing things for family. Whether it's children, whether it's spouse, whether it's for siblings, whether it's for parents, whether it's even for friends. But a big part of their money, a big part of their earning, a big part of their livelihood is not for themselves. It gets some way or the other spent or given to or allocated to somebody else who they feel is their loved ones, dear ones, family, or who they feel deserves their love, their affection. So Cancer in the second house surely is a strong placement of having emotions connected to family, to traditions, to values, to principles. However, these people need to be a little careful of where their money, their livelihood eventually is going, because at the end of the day, it is their money, it's their livelihood, and financial security for family and spending on others is important. But taking care of yourself also, your financial security in the long run is as important, is as important, if not more. That is the placement of the Cancer sign in the second house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the third house is a strong placement where communication, where how you influence others, how you deal with others, is a strong layered, or the foundation is layered on the softer, the mushy, the intellectual communication. The influencing part will also be caring, supporting time. You are not the one who will use harsh words. Harsh words may come out of your communication only in a rare situation where you feel that you are trying to do something good for somebody, you are trying to explain to people, you are trying to empathize with people what is good for them, and if they are just not able to understand, only then may you blurt out a word, even an expletive, thinking that why is this person not able to understand. However, generally your communication will be the mushy kinds, your communication will be the kind types, your communication will be the caring types, supporting type, nourishing type. Even your effort, which the third house represents, your effort will also be towards caring for others. Sometimes even in your job, even in your service, or if you are doing something on your own, because the third house is also the house of self-enterprise, even in that your leaning would be towards how can I do something which is good for others, rather than looking at how it helps you. So if you're doing a business on your own, you're doing a consulting, you're running a consulting firm on your own, whatever you're doing as self-enterprise rather than working under somebody, you will still have a leaning of how can I do better for society, how can I do something better for others, and your decisions about service or business will have the layer of service and taking care of others, nourishing others. In branding, in selling, if you are getting connected to marketing, you will be a good salesman. You are a thinking person, you are very intelligent. However, even when you are a salesperson, when you are influencing others, say for example, if you are selling a house to somebody, your marketing, your communication will also be layered on how the property will be useful for the family, will be good for the friends, how they can feel good being in an intimate environment with their loved ones. So your communication will be more about taking care of others, family orientation, friends, society, and that's how the placement of the Cancer sign in the third house plays out. Caring for others, communication, being empathetic, taking care of others, even in self-enterprise, thinking more of others rather than self, being attached to younger siblings. If you have a younger sibling, you will have some attachment towards your younger sibling, or younger sibling may also be the one who troubles you more than the others. However, a caring person, a thinking person whose communication is layered with sensitivity, empathy, understanding, and who does more for others in the long run rather than for self. That is the placement of the Cancer sign in the third house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the fourth house is a natural placement of the Cancer sign. This is the placement of the Kal Purush Kundi. However, this is one of the strongest placement of Cancer, though may not be the most important one, but definitely the strongest, especially from an asset accumulation point of view and how you get connected to the home. These people, the crab, are the ones who are very strongly connected to the home or the home environment. Wherever they feel home-like, they like to be there. For example, if they are at home and if they feel that the home is where their heart is, they feel comfortable at home, they feel loved at home, then they would never want to leave their home. If they are at work, they would want to rush back home first. These are not the people who would rush to meet friends or go out and have fun and enjoy and pub. They may want to do that every now and then because friends may also make them feel loved and cared for or nourished. However, home is where the heart is and they rush first home. They take care of home first. The attention goes towards home than others. Why home? The four walls of the home are also important for them, not just the people. And so here the distinction should also be laid where the home is not only about people for them. The home is also about the walls that make them feel welcomed also. Even if they live alone, they stay alone, the walls of the home should be inviting for them to be able to relax. So they feel good at home, they feel comfortable at home, they also feel attached to the home. And so many such people with Cancer in the fourth house, it's not easy for them to leave their homeland or leave their family if they have to go somewhere else to start a new innings start a new career, start a new job. It's not easy for them to just leave home and start a home in other place. It takes them a lot of time. If they settle in a new place, if they establish a new home, and after that they are asked to move again, that becomes even more difficult because they have taken so much time to settle into a home, and if they have to leave the home. And so these people feel very attached to the home, to the homely environment, and to the family. Family comes first to these people. Spouse, children, mother, close friends, father also. But here mother becomes the most special person because the Cancer sign is ruled by moon, and moon is the karak of mother. So generally these people will have a love and hate relationship with the mother. Either they are very close to the mother, or there will be some friction going on with the mother. It will not be completely 100% neutral. There will always be a leaning towards one side or the other. But mother will definitely be a strong person or an important person in their family. These people also have a strong attachment to assets, not just to the home, or an old car who they are very nostalgic about, who they feel connected to, old maybe some appliances which have been gifted by somebody, an old phone which has been gifted by somebody, and now you want to change. So it's not easy for you to let go of items, mementos, even appliances which you have used. So you would want to give it to somebody rather than to sell them or throw them away. You would want to give that item to somebody, saying that, why don't you use this? This was given to me by my mother-in-law. This was given to me by my friend. Now I'm getting a new one. I would not like to throw it away in the garbage. Why don't you use it? So this connection to home, walls, things which have an emotional connect are very, very strong for the people with Cancer sign in the 4th house. However, these people need to guard against giving too much in the family, doing so much for the family that they lose themselves. They find themselves while doing for others. However, a certain part of themselves is very, very important. And many a times, if family lets them down, spouse lets them down, later on children let them down, they can be very melancholy and even sad if they are left to fend for themselves. So, if you have Cancer in the 4th house, be a little careful. Do more for others also, but reserve a certain part of yourself also which you don't neglect. That is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 4th house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the 5th house is a strong placement where the mind, the heart is attached to the children, to your romances, to something which your heart is connected to, something of interest, something of hobbies, even to the arts. Usually, if moon is also placed in this house, then there is a very, very strong connection to something of the arts, connected to the arts. Maybe you are a lover of music, maybe you are a lover of dance, maybe you are a lover of painting, or you paint. But there is something surely that you do which is connected to the arts or to the artistic. Here your expressions are also artistic expressions also. So the way you speak, the way you do things, the way you dress, everything will have some degree, some leaning towards what is more beautiful, which is more soft, which is more artistic also, which has a certain taste, which has a certain sophistication to itself. Even the person that you get connected to, even in romance, either on one side you are somebody, especially if moon is very strong, because Cancer sign is in the 5th house, you get connected to people very soon, or you fall in love with somebody very soon, and then you don't see much about whether how the person suits you or doesn't suit you, how the person looks, what the person does, because your emotions take over. And so if you feel a strong connect to somebody, you strongly feel you are in love. Sometimes you may start off caring for somebody, wanting to do something for somebody, and then you fall in love through that action of caring for somebody, doing something for somebody. This is also a placement where you feel somebody is more neglected, somebody is not cared for so much, and so you have to do it as a responsibility, or your heart automatically goes towards them, starts to fall in love with them, because you feel that it's your responsibility to take care. It's your responsibility to be supportive of them. It's your responsibility to nourish them also. Or on the other hand, you may also want to be with somebody who's very sophisticated, who's also himself or herself of a certain character, of a certain leaning, and only then you feel for the person. Sometimes you are choosy also, where you feel if the person doesn't deserve your attention, doesn't deserve your sensitivity, then you don't want to be with such people. So sometimes these people go through 2 or 3 romances where they fall in love with somebody easily, very soon, then later on they feel that this person is not for me, this person is not sensitive, this person doesn't care enough about me, this person doesn't love me, I was a fool to be with this person. And so they go through these 2 or 3 turmoils before settling into a relationship with somebody. So strong leaning towards romances, being in and out of romances also, sometimes falling strongly in love with somebody, maybe through infatuation. These people will have a strong connect to children, even to studies. These people may be somebody who wants to study, who will also put an effort, whether they do well or not. But for them, education is very important, learning is very important, knowledge is very important. And so many of their decisions also get connected to education, through learning, through knowledge. Their careers also get connected to that, because Cancer sign is in the 5th house, which is the 8th house to the 10th house. So if these people don't feel comfortable at their workplace, they don't feel comfortable in the work that they do, then generally these people go through 3 or 4 job changes also. Sometimes it is not that the industry in which they are working may not appeal to them, but the company in which they are working may not appeal to them. The environment of the office may not appeal to them, and so they may change their jobs also. And so till they feel settled in a job, they may not be settled actually in the job. So the feeling of settlement is more important for them. These people also who sometimes tend to be those who are connected to speculative investments also. So they're looking out also for areas to invest in, where to invest in, where not to invest in. But sometimes that also becomes an emotional decision. They like a house, even if they don't need a house, they already have a house, but they want to invest. A house appeals to them, it looks homely to them. They feel that later on maybe I may be able to come and live with my family, then they would go for that house, even if slightly less practical than some other property which they would want to take. So a lot of emotionality around romance, around children, around arts, about job is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 5th house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the 6th house is a strong placement where a person, his or her heart, their emotions get connected to serving others. This is the strong placement of people wanting to do something for others in a caring, in a supportive manner. Even if you are in a technical area, you feel connected to your colleagues, for example. So usually even at work, you may watch out for colleagues, you may look out for colleagues, you may step in for colleagues. If a project needs more time to be spent on, you may be the one who volunteers. Or if somebody asks you, your boss asks you that I would want you to spend more time on something, it will be difficult for you to refuse. And you feel more attached to your colleagues also. There will be some colleague at work who you are more strongly leaning towards. You may share your secrets, your emotions with that person also. Or you may find solace even at work while working with people rather than at home. At work, if you feel you have friends at work, then you may also put in long hours, and then that job also nourishes you emotionally, where you feel that you're giving back to society, you're caring for others, you're being supportive for others, and you also have friends at work who look out for you as well. So strong placement where the heart is connected to serves, heart is connected to your friends, heart is connected to your colleagues at work, and it is difficult for you to move away. This is a placement where you don't change jobs easily unless the job forces you out. And sometimes you even follow your colleagues. Your colleagues change jobs, they go to another place, they say, why don't you join my company? Then you may follow them also. A boss leaves the company and goes to another workplace, and he says, why don't you come and join me, because I will give you a promotion, I will give you a growth, and I like to work with you, we know each other. Then you follow your boss also to go to a new place. So generally you like to work in an environment or serve people, taking care of people, empathizing with people, and in an industry which supports people. However, this may also be a placement where you may have niggling factors of sicknesses also every now and then. Your constitution may not be the best, your digestive forces may not be best, so you need to take better care of your immunity, better care of what you're eating. Otherwise you may fall prey and be more susceptible to sicknesses and illnesses than somebody else. And that is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 6th house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the 7th house is a special placement. It is special because of two reasons. One, because the 7th house is anybody and everybody who you get connected to on a daily basis. So generally, such a person with Cancer sign in 7th house will look out for almost everybody. So if you have a maid who works for you, you have colleagues at work, you have a neighbor, you have your friends, you have your siblings, you have your family, you want to look out for everybody. If towards everybody you have a soft corner, you don't want to see anybody sad, anybody down. You try to help anybody and everybody who you feel connected to strongly. If you have a strong connect to a sibling, then you would go out of the way to help or do things for the siblings. If you are in a partnership with somebody in business, at work, or if you are in a team where your colleagues are close to you, they support you, then you would go out of the way to do things for you. Same thing about the spouse. You want to make somebody a spouse when you have a very strong connect to them. This is not a practical, logical decision where you feel this person is very well-to-do, this person is very good-looking, this person has a very stable job, has a stable career, earns well, so it's very practical for me to be in the relationship with this person. This is not that placement. This is a placement that even if the person is not doing very well, even if the person is not the best looking, even if the person doesn't have a very stable career, but this person loves and cares for me, this person looks out for me, this person is empathetic towards me, this person understands me, so I should be with this person. So here this is a very empathetic and a softer, mushier decision to get into a partnership, to get into a committed relationship, to get into even marriage, where the long-term decision is more basis emotional aspects rather than logical aspects. It is not that these people are not thinking people, they are not intelligent people, they are not very clever people. These people think more than the others, but they think, or their leaning of intelligence is more toward the sensitive side. In fact, they think more than the others, and so sometimes they also get in trouble because they think too much. They overthink about situations in life. If their spouse is able to give them not as much time as they want, then they would complain. They want to be treated more specially, and they would want more attention from their spouses, from their partners also. If they feel their partner is not giving them enough attention, is not enough sensitive towards their areas, their jobs, their situations, then they also may sulk very easily. They may also not feel good about it, and they may complain. But these people also will have a very unusual way of communicating to the partner, communicating to others that I am not happy with you. So more than verbal cues, there will be a lot of non-verbal cues which are given to a sibling, to a colleague at work, to your spouse, hoping that they would understand. However, a placement where you take care of others more, you feel connected to others more, sometimes even at the receiving end of relationship or partnerships, or with others who you feel strongly connected towards, and because of that sometimes you also feel let down. So with Cancer in your 7th house, as long as you allow emotions to get the better of you without protecting your heart, you will always be somebody who will always be nursing your heart every now and then. If you have Cancer sign in the 7th house, take more care of your emotions, be more logical, be more practical in your decision making, because you may be the ones who end up sadder than the others who you get connected to, because they may not be as empathetic, as caring, as understanding as you. And that is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 7th house for you. With the Cancer sign in the 8th house, this is a slightly tricky placement, because Moon gets debilitated in the 8th house in the Scorpio sign. So Cancer sign in the 8th house, which 8th house also has the Scorpio energy. So this is not the easiest of placements if Cancer sign goes in the 8th house. Especially care has to be taken where moon is placed in this horoscope, because here it becomes important because the leaning is more towards turbulences, ups and downs, upheavals in your life, and so such a person may not find it easy to deal with obstructions, to deal with ups and downs in their life easily, and so they go through huge ups and downs in their emotions also when Cancer sign gets placed in the 8th house. However, these people also have a leaning towards the mystical, those things which are more magical, or those things which are more mysterious. They may like horror stories more, or paranormal stories more, or spy movies more, or movies which have a lot of drama in them, which have a lot of emotions in them more. However, these people are also the ones who will be the first people to come to the rescue of those people who themselves are going through turmoil, going through challenges in life. On the learning front, these people get connected or want to do research, delve deeper into mysteries of life, may find their emotions getting connected toward the occult. These people may also do a lot of research, trying to help others in a more caring and empathetic manner. So doing research in medicine, doing research in finances, or getting connected to financial institutions, accounting institutions, banking institutions, taxation institutions, insurance-based institutions is also this placement. However, these people never feel settled in their life emotionally. Sometimes they will have a very good time, and then the next 2-3 years may be a roller coaster ride. As long as you are more protective of your emotions, as long as you are more protective of where your leanings are, not allow yourself to be drowned in melancholy, in other people's challenges, other people's problems, and not getting overawed by this ups and downs in life, you're safe. However, if you allow yourself to be overawed because of some turbulations, obstacles, challenges which come in your life, you allow the situation to get the better of you, then this will give you a placement where you may be sad for months on end, you may be dejected for months on end, you may be demotivated for months on end, especially if moon is also not in a strong placement. So if Cancer sign is in the 8th house, try and take better care of yourself, especially during those ups and downs in life which may shake you up, shake up your foundation, shake up your relationship also. So even your relationships may go through ups and downs, upheavals. One relationship may be good for you, another relationship may test you the most. It may not be a spouse relationship only. Sometimes a boss may test you the most, sometimes a sibling may test you the most, sometimes a parent may test you the most, sometimes a child may test you the most, sometimes a friend may test you the most. Of course, spouse may be the most important relationship in your life. So if you have Cancer sign in the 8th house, be more careful, guard against other challenges which are coming to you. Also be more careful who you allow in your life, what situations you allow to overawe you, because this can be a placement of really shaking up the very foundations of your emotionality. And that is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 8th house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the 9th house, very strong leaning towards what is spiritual, what is high learning, what are high experiences, and also moving towards those cultures which you feel are not from your own. So strong leaning toward the more unusual things also. Such people will be very spiritual in their different perspectives. So rather than being too religious, going to visit spiritual places like temples or mosques or churches, you will be more spiritual in the heart. There will be a lot of gratitude in your heart also toward the supreme energy, especially if you are a believing person, and every now and then your heart gives out a sigh of or a cry of gratitude to the supreme energy as well. However, your gratitude is also towards those people who stood by you. So those higher learning that you get through experiences, especially when you go through tough experiences, tough challenges, that will teach you a lot. And those teachings are very dear to you. You never let go of those teachings. You never let go of those learnings. And so you also value those people who stood by you during those times. You may have a friend, somebody who you lean on more for guidance also, for also to use as a sounding board. So if you are going through tough challenges, you may always rely on one person or maybe two persons or two people, maybe somebody who's very elder, who's very mature also in your life, who you can go to for redressal or to sounding of an idea, sounding of a decision also. So usually such people with the Cancer sign in the 9th house will also be more toward the spiritual aspects of life and also seeking the higher guidance. The higher guidance is not only at a more materialistic level but also at a spiritual level. Usually these people also have an affinity to want to travel, to go out and see the world, and they like to be in different places, more exotic places also, maybe those places which are close to water or the beaches kind rather than so much of the mountain kind or the hilly kind. These people are also the ones who like to learn about foreign cultures. They may like to try different dishes, different foods also. They may also have connects of friends in different places. These people may also work in organizations which are multinational organizations where they get in touch with different people. They also get a lot of learning from different people, and so because their heart is more leaning towards different experiences, different people, so these people either choose a vocation or a job which connects them to different kinds of people, or the zodiac or their karma takes them into those places. These people are also the ones who like to do a lot of educational qualifications, and usually their job in some way or the other gets them connected to their qualification, to their education also. So a placement of spirituality, a placement of learning from high experiences, even tough experiences, having somebody who they follow on as a guide, as a mentor, not forgetting the teachings of their gurus, of their teachers, and being connected to the exotic or different kinds of experiences is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 9th house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the 10th house is a placement where the heart is where your work is. So your work has to be something where your emotions are attached to. So if you don't feel strong about a certain industry, you don't feel strong about a work, you don't feel strong about a project or a team, then it becomes difficult for you to work in that place, in that team, in the project for a longer period of time. So if at all you need a job, you will want to work with something or in a certain industry where you also feel you're doing something, you're contributing to others, you're also taking care of others. If not, if you take up a job for the sheer need that you need a job and you need to take care of your expenses, the company seems to be good and you take up the job, but if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel at home, if you don't feel welcome, especially if you don't have a good relationship with the supervisors, with the higher ups, with the managers, then it's very difficult for you to sustain in that placement. You also take slights from your bosses, from your managers or your higher ups very strongly, and you take it to heart, and it's difficult for you to get over it easily. So sometimes if you are put down by your bosses, you are let down by your managers, then you may talk to your spouse, you may talk to your friends also that why did this happen to me, and that will stay with you for a long period of time. So generally these people are most comfortable where they have good relationship with their bosses, with their managers, with the supervisors also, and they feel strongly connected to what they are doing. So whatever they do, you will find that generally these people will be in some environment, in some workforce, in some project where they are giving back to society, they are caring for the society, they are doing more for society. So somewhere the work will be connected to caring for others, maybe customer service, maybe heading a department or taking more responsibility for the department. But surely these people will be more empathetic towards their work, they will be more empathetic towards their bosses and want that to be reciprocated also. Empathetic toward the project, empathetic towards their team members also. Sometimes even at the cost of family, even at the cost of home, they may end up spending longer hours at work or get work to your home also, where they may be working even from their home on their laptop for a longer period of time than is required in their roles, because they feel it's their responsibility and they need to do more. So if you have the Cancer sign in the 10th house, guard against that, not giving too much to work, depending too much on your bosses or supervisors, or expecting too much even on the softer side, the mushier side. but be more balanced in your perspective, more balanced in how you approach work, because at the end, you should not attach too much heart to where your head should be rather than where your heart should be. That is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 10th house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the 11th house is a placement where this is a special placement given to you by the zodiac. This is a placement given to you so that you take more responsibility for the larger society. You take more responsibility, maybe at a smaller level, maybe beyond your family, beyond your door. This is not a placement where you need to be indoors taking care of only your home, your spouse, your children, but you should go beyond your home. You should also be able to go beyond your extended family. Start with your extended family, maybe an aunt, maybe an uncle, maybe an elder sibling who may be married, yet is going through some challenges, maybe a friend. Start with that as the first step. But your job, your responsibility, your karma is much larger than that. The zodiac has given you that karma, and that's why the Cancer sign has been placed in the 11th house. These people feel a attachment towards some goal in life, some role in life which gets them connected to some social cause, some larger cause which they feel needs to be done. Generally, these people get attached to something of a caring role that they want to do. They want to care more for others. They may care more for the children. They may want to care more for the environment. They may want to care more for the animals. They may want to care more for the old people. They may want to care more for a special group or a specific group of people. But there will surely be something where their heart is attached to and they want to give back. Even if they get too engrossed in work and they are not able to find time, but at the back of their mind, that particular role, that particular responsibility, that particular karma will always be something which they can't forget. And they may also talk to their spouse, maybe talk to their friends or family that I want to do this. My heart goes out to be able to do this. Maybe I start an ashrama, maybe I start an old age home, maybe I do something for the environment, maybe I plant more trees, maybe I go and live away from the hustle and bustle of a city, maybe in a farmland I do and live in nature. But something that they want to do, contribute to the society, will be at the top of their mind always. Generally, these people, even when working in a large organization, maybe a large brand, either their work gets connected to doing something for others, nourishing others, taking care of others, and contributing more at a larger perspective to society. Even if their role is not very big, they may be one cog in the wheel through which they may be able to help. They may be one spoke in the wheel through which they may be able to help others, reach out to others. These people have a stronger connect, and as and when they grow more financially stable, they grow more stable in their environment, in their home, in their life, they also start reflecting on where I can contribute, where I can do more. So then they start also giving time to see these activities. They may start going out in groups to take care of others, maybe give time on their weekends, maybe donate to such organizations, but strongly they will do more for others. These people are also the most social kind. They will also be friends that they look out for. If not at a larger goal, at a larger societal level, if they are not able to do, they will at least do something for the immediate society. Maybe for their friends, they will be somebody who they have done more for, good for them. They become the friends, the forum friends to others, and they will be more caring of their friends. They will be more caring of the immediate neighborhood. They may be more caring of the social network that they have. So, a placement where you are taking care of society in general, through your work, through your industry, through your projects, or through some connect that you do outside of your work environment, maybe starting with your immediate neighborhood, maybe starting with the immediate social network, but definitely the zodiac has a work cut out for you, much larger role that you play to do more for society, and that is the placement of the Cancer sign in the 11th house for you. The placement of the Cancer sign in the 12th house is a very special placement. Normally, you may say, what's so special about a certain sign ruling a certain house? But here, because of the Cancer sign going into the 12th house, empathy going into the 12th house, the heart going into the 12th house. So, here one becomes very spiritual. However, this can also be a placement of a lot of emotionality also, a lot of sobbing also, even if you're not crying tears, but there may be certain situations which overwhelm you, because of which you're not just able to handle things also, sometimes practically, sometimes logically. A lot of your decisions may go south where logic is concerned. Most of your decisions, while on the surface they may seem to be more practical, they may seem to be more logical, but they may have underpinnings of emotionality. There will always be more emotional decisions that you have taken in life, because of which you may have also faced some roadblocks, some hurdles, some challenges, some losses also. Because the Cancer sign goes into the 12th house of losses and excesses, many times you do more excesses in giving more, in reaching out for others also, sometimes even at your own cost. And that's where losses in your empathy, losses in your emotionality is also this placement. Many times you end up doing much more for others, for your loved ones, for your spouse, for your children, for your friends, for your family, extended family, even for society, but get back very less in return. Very strong feeling towards how I do more for others, how I leave a strong legacy behind, what can I do for others, can I leave behind something in my will for others, can I do some philanthropy, can I donate more, can I do more charity, can I be more charitable towards others, is this placement. Many times you may end up doing much more for others, financially, emotionally, than you have even fathomed. And generally by the time you realize that, it may be too late also. However, being very spiritual, also feeling every now and then, especially during tough times, even those times when you are relaxing, thinking, what does life mean for me? Am I doing the right things? Am I moving in the right direction? Am I with the right people? All these thoughts go over your head. Generally, you also feel that the world is not an ideal place, but you need to make it ideal. So you put all your efforts to trying to beautify your house, have better relationship, and you feel by giving more, you may also be reciprocated. But you may be wrong. You may not always be reciprocated to the extent that you are giving. So be a little careful with Cancer sign in the 12th house, because you will end up giving much more than what the others deserve, and what you deserve also in the long run to be left alone. Taking care of others is important. Your heart will normally radiate towards helping others, taking care of others, and usually such people will leave such legacy behind, or some legacy behind, of being more empathetic, or being more caring for others, doing more for others, serving others through some field, maybe the medical field, maybe through customer service, some way or the other. They will end up doing much more for society also. If you have Cancer sign in the 12th house, take care of your heart, take care of your emotions, take care of yourself. Giving more to others is important. But if you are going to feel melancholy in the end, if you are going to feel sad in the end, and if you feel you are not leaving a strong legacy behind, then you will be at the receiving end. This is the strong placement where if you are more caring, you have a strong placement where the highest level of spiritual elevation may also be given to you. So if you are taking care of others, taking care of society, please do that. Surely this is a strong placement to be able to do more for others than receiving. But be careful where your emotions lie, because that's where your biggest loss may be coming. And that's the placement of the Cancer sign in the 12th house for you. So friends, now that we have talked about the Cancer sign in the 12 houses, check where your Cancer sign lies, where moon is placed, what planets are placed in that house where the Cancer sign lies, what aspects of other planets is on that, if there are any conjunctions there, if there are any doshas there or malefics there, because through that different combinations, permutations may play out, different possibilities may happen, different probabilities may happen for you. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time, some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan signing off.